for all. And the four-way test: is it true? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and make friendships? Will it be beneficial for all concerned? Thank you. All right. As previously mentioned, tomorrow is Valentine's Day. Many people know that Valentine's Day is named after St. Valentine's, but did you know that there are actually two St. Valentines? Nobody knows for sure if the holiday originally celebrated St. Valentine of Rome or St. Valentine of Terni, both of whom were martyred. Legends say that St. Valentine of Rome was a priest who defied the Roman Emperor Claudius II ban on soldiers getting married and continued to marry couples in secret. Other stories say that he helped Christians escape Roman prisons. He fell in love with the jailer's daughter, writing her a letter signed "From your Valentine." Here's some more fun facts. We did those last week. We're going to do some more. 224 million roses are grown for Valentine's Day, and you can purchase them at a increased price on Valentine's Day, or wait the day after and get them watching. Roughly 6 million people will get engaged on Valentine's Day, many stating that, quote, seemed like a good idea at the time. Arizona, Nebraska, Texas, and Virginia each have cities named Valentine. Apparently in Virginia and Texas, you can get a special holiday postmark at the post office. These are not metropolitan areas. Valentine, Arizona, population 46. Valentine, Nebraska, that's the big one, 2,631. Valentine, Texas, population 67. And Valentine, Virginia, population 529. Chocolate is the most popular, one of the most popular gifts for Valentine's Day, accounting for a large portion of the spending on the holiday. Estimates range between 57 and 58 million pounds of chocolate will be given on Valentine's Day. And according to the latest statistics from the National Retail Federation, U.S. consumers spent a total of $25.8 billion on celebrating Valentine's Day in 2024. Have a wonderful Valentine's Day. And if you haven't gotten your significant other anything yet, the clock is ticking.
Thank you, Phil. Great stuff. And I will remind everybody, the Rotary Club of Lexington has its own Valentine with Matthew Valentine. Here is your, and now for our favorite foot doctor, Michael Morrell, to introduce our guests. Welcome to everybody's here and everybody on Zoom. Here's Mike.
Thank you, Brett. Why do you make me follow him all the time? It's not fair. We've got a lot of visitors today and we want to welcome them all. First, Cassie Klein is a guest of Buzz Carmichael. Cole Meyer, guest of Marcus Cross. Henry Johnson, a guest of Sean Lyons. Larry Spell, also a guest of Sean Lyons. Michael Adams, a guest of Laurel Martin. Tracy Bruno, Tracy. There he is. Susan Anderson, a guest of Chris Anderson. And Jim Waters, also a member of guest of Chris Anderson. Let's give them all a round of applause. Thank you. Now, this is a good opportunity. We've also got two visiting Rotarians who have both moved to Lexington and they're looking for a new home. So please reach out to them. First, from Bloomington, Illinois, Paul Leahy. Paul, hi, Paul. And from Salt Lake City, and then most recently, North Carolina, Larry Spell. Hi, Larry. Thank you all for coming.
Thank you, Michael. Now for the lottery. All right, Cheyenne, let's, we're gonna pull 2 tickets. What's the total?
676.
676, and the
Jack of
Jack of Hearts we're looking for. First number, I hope it's mine. 4284.
Let's see.
4284. Gary, perfect. Just stay up here, Gary, when we're done with this, for your announcements. Second number, 4240. 4240.
For the Jack of Hearts.
Looking for a Jack of Hearts. Buzz, oh, Buzz, you're always with. Close, Gary. Yeah. Stay close, Gary, stay close. All right, Buzz,
Don't trip.
Want to check it?
We're on the honor
looks
system.
legitimate.
Thank you.
We're on the honor system.
Check is. It's a good opportunity.
Oh, close, but no cigar.
$1. How about
Thank
that?
you all for playing.
I'll get it back there.
Oh, okay.
Thank you, Cheyenne. Celebrating birthdays today, this week and next week. Earl Arp, Bob Millward, Dan Stratton, Patrick Metzger, Bob Showalter, Joe Bark, David Jones, and Jeff Stone. Let's sing the last verse on 3. 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you. Don't forget the birthday fund, $1 for each year you've been. And Gary, you want to go? And now for announcements, we've got our very own Gary to discuss what we're got on the schedule for March 6th. March 6th.
Fellow Rotarians, I'd like to personally invite you to come and see Witness for the Prosecution. Some consider it to be Agatha Christie's best stage play. It's a courtroom drama that's about betrayal, manipulation, and justice. And a young man's been accused, he's been arrested for murder of a widow, which he recently befriended, and he's on trial for his life. And it has so many twists and turns, it'll keep you guessing to the very end. And if you happen to be sitting on the front row, you'll be part of the jury that night. So, and after the show that night, again, it's March 6th, we'll have a reception for you, meet and greet the actors, food, including shrimp and champagne. So how can you turn that down? $25, there's information on your table. Thank you.
Thank you, Gary. And Gary, you are directing that play, correct?
Yes.
You are directing that, Rotary's very own. All right, another announcement, membership. We are going full force in our membership program. The membership committee had met after our meeting last week. If you have any interest to be a part of this major initiative for Rotary, please contact Dylan or contact Peggy. We've got a membership event at Shiloh Park at the Toyota Bluegrass Miracle League Fields. There'll be refreshments, and that's Wednesday, April 16th. So membership, the biggest lever in Rotary's power here in Lexington is membership. Let's all get behind that. Also, on March 6th, we are having our first of many international lunches. We may eventually call it the international dinner, but it's actually going to be the international lunch. Been working with Tom at Maine on Maine. We're going to have a diverse fare from across the world representing multiple continents. We're going to have some surprises, and bring your checkbooks because we're going to have a few live auction items. If you're interested to be a part of this and be a part of this growing committee, get in touch with me. This is something that we're going to do for years to come. That's on March 6th, so please plan to attend. And then finally, next week, it's our third Thursday, we're doing Rotary differently. It's an opportunity of a week of service, and we have scheduled the backpack, filling backpacks at God's Pantry, and contact Susie Basham. So that's February 20th at 1 o'clock at the God's Pantry Food Bank. So please contact Susie Basham if you're interested to participate. Now, one of my favorite things to do during announcements is the introduction of new Rotarians. I'd like to have Lyle Hanna come to the podium to introduce the very newest Rotarian, Lyle Hannah.
Yes, sir. Thank you, bro.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Oh, what a pleasure it is to share this little tidbit with you. We've got a new member today, and I'm excited to introduce to you Mr. Sean Barkley. And it gives me great pleasure to introduce this guy to you. This guy's terrific. He's from Richmond, Kentucky. His dad was the head of the agriculture department for many years at EKU. But he is now the new pastor at Walnut Hill Church, which is out on Walnut Hill Road. You know, that's the oldest Presbyterian church in the state of Kentucky. It was started by Levi Todd, Mary Todd Lincoln's granddaddy. And Sean took a rather odd trip, though, to get from Richmond to Lexington, okay? So he actually was educated at what he calls the Harvard of the South, better known to most of us as Western Kentucky University. And he was encouraged to go to seminary by one of our retired members, Mike Ward. A lot of you know him because he's the past minister at Walnut Hill Church. And but he went on, though, after graduating from seminary, to be the head of a church in Versailles, Kentucky, in Louisville, Kentucky. Couldn't hold a job. Charlotte, and Cincinnati before we recruited him back here to Lexington. And we're just really excited to have him here. Got him here this past year, and he brought him with him Amy Jo, his wife. She's a Transy grad. She is also from Richmond, and you can imagine their parents. They both have two sets of parents over in Richmond. How glad they are to have their kids back here close by. So that's pretty cool. Hey, listen, he is a terrific preacher. He's going to be upset that I tell you some of this stuff, but I'd say no sleeping during his sermons. Okay, he is down to earth. He makes the Bible simple, understandable, but really make a difference in our lives, you know. He's been with these pretty large churches before coming back here. And we have had friends visiting for the past year from all of those churches. They keep showing up. In fact, we can have, you know, about 100, 150 people at our church, but usually we're like 75 people. But online, we have over 500 people every week listening to our service. If they all show up, we're in big trouble, okay? But anyway, it's a ton of fun to have him here. His message is love God and love each other and take care of each other. Now, he's also a huge sports fan. In fact, he has said that if he knew as much about the Bible as he does about sports, he'd be Billy Graham. But we're delighted to have him here. He also is a past member of the Charlotte Rotary. So let's give a big welcome to this guy, Rotarian, coming back to Rotary. Thank you. Oh, we got to give you a badge. Hot dog, man. Put that on and wear that with pride.
I will.
All right. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Lyle, and Sean, welcome to the Rotary Club of Lexington. Boy, I love it when we're right on time. Here to introduce our guest, Rotary's very own Dr. Laurel Martin.
Good afternoon, you all. It is my pleasure to introduce our speaker today. Since July of 2021, Dr. Liggins has led Fayette County Public Schools. His bio is in your handout, so you can read all about his past career success. One of the things that I think that really stands out for me is the fact that he has had educator and/or administrative roles in the elementary, the middle, and the high school level. And I think in his current role as the superintendent, that just gives him tremendous insight for the folks that he is leading. As a part of Junior Achievement of the Bluegrass, we serve all of Central and Eastern Kentucky. Of the 26,000 students that we worked with last year to provide financial literacy, work readiness, and entrepreneurship education, more than 10,000 of them were in Fayette County Public Schools. We couldn't do what we do without Fayette County and the support that you all give us. So I just want to publicly say thank you for all you do. And I also want to say that I think one of the things that we're so excited about is that Dr. Liggins really has a history of not only providing tremendous leadership from a fiscal standpoint, but also outcomes. And we're seeing that firsthand in our schools. And so we are delighted to have him here today to share a little bit about all the great stuff that's happening in Fayette County Public Schools.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm going to take a few minutes just to really talk a little bit about the current state of the public school system here in Fayette County. Let me make sure I get this right. I'm pointing it over here. You just told me that. As you can see from the slide here, I have to look at the slides to make sure that I'm saying the right things. We are a richly diverse school system with many different cultures, many different talents and strengths with not only with our student body, but also within our profession as a whole. Our employees, as you will see, we are the second largest employer in Fayette County, second to the University of Kentucky. And one of the things that we pride ourselves in is the quality of teachers that we're able to recruit. In fact, 79% of our teachers, nearly 80%, has advanced degrees. And we also, just a couple of years ago, our school board took on the initiative of making teachers in Fayette County the highest paid starting pay teachers in the state of Kentucky, which has really but you know, many of us recognize that school system is about education. The school system is about making sure that students are learning and getting the outcomes they need academically. But we are so much more than that. In fact, as you will see from this slide, we are the largest mass transit system in Fayette County. We're well over 23,000 miles driven every single day to get our students to and from school. In addition to that, we also is the largest restaurant franchise with several thousand meals being fed to our students every single day as well. And we reinvest nearly $300 million right here in central Bluegrass, Kentucky every single year or from our investments and from the people we employ. And so today we're really going to focus on the return that our taxpayers and our families and our citizens are getting as a result of the work we're doing here in Fayette County Public Schools. We have 70 schools and programs. As you can see here, they're broken out between our 6 comprehensive high schools all the way to our elementary schools. And we service kids from pre-kindergarten all the way through 12th grade. One thing that is not commonly known is our special education students can receive services as early as birth, depending on the severity of their disability through Fayette County Public Schools, and they can go up until their 22nd birthday. And so we have students that run at it there. In the past 10 years, we've offered several new innovative specialized programs. One of the things that we are passionate about here is to ensure that we provide opportunities for students so that they are able to really pursue their dreams in a manner that really interests them. And so we're always looking at ways to how can we provide a specialized education to the students and provide them something where they're learning not only their core content, but they're also learning something that is of interest to them. So as you will see, many of these programs, which goes from our Carter G. Woodson, which is an all-boys STEM program, to Locus Trace, which is an agricultural science, to an all-girl program that is several in between there. And we also have several programs that are within our school systems themselves that's not necessarily standalone. And you can see all the way from high school down to elementary school. We have several programs to where kids can learn foreign languages, where they can participate in pre-engineering programs, gifted and talented, and a variety of other things that really allow students to reach their fullest potential within their area of interest. Just this coming year, we have a lot going on. We have a few things that are happening starting next fall for the 25-26 school year. Mayor E. Britton is the newest middle school. I'm sure if you've gone out on Polo Club, that's going up out there. That middle school will be the largest middle school in Kentucky as of date. It was for about 1,200 students. And so that is going up there. There's also space on that lot to eventually build an elementary school there as well. That's one of our largest growing areas in the city. second only to Mastership Station. The Hill is a state-of-the-art career technical education program. It's not far from here, it's downtown. This is going to be a game changer for not only Fayette County, but this will be for Central Kentucky, and possibly this region as a whole. It's an opportunity for our students to really get firsthand, hands-on experiences, top-notch qualifications in order to leave high school qualified in order to move on into the workforce or to give them an advantage while they go on to college. We're very proud of that program and really looking forward to that opening. And it's going to have several partnerships. My vision is for that to be a 24-hour operation where in the evenings we're offering opportunities for parents to possibly get GEDs, for universities and technical colleges to partner with us to allow families and community members who would like to advance their own skill set and receive certifications to also take advantage of that. And a variety of other partnering with social services to have things in the building itself that was built specifically not only as a school, but also as a community center to provide several opportunities to transform our community as a whole through education. We're also excited that we're starting We Road. This one, I'm a little bit this is through a federal grant. We received the largest federal grant we've ever received this past year. And it was to transform 3 of our existing schools into magnet programs. And Breckenridge Elementary, Crawford Middle School, and Harrison Elementary will be turning into Harrison, for example, visual arts and performing program, and Breckenridge and innovative leadership and civic engagement management. Our Crawford Middle School is worth taking a bit more time to discuss with you because it's making history in so many different ways. It's going to be the first leadership magnet in the state of Kentucky. And so it's an opportunity for our students to learn through a leadership lens and for them to be able to really understand the importance of leadership and to have opportunities to do so. And also it will be the first literacies magnet in Kentucky as well. But our civic engagement is not only the first in Kentucky, but it is the first in the United States of America. Magnet school that focuses on civic engagement. One of the things that when I came in just 4 years ago when we started our strategic planning process, the things that I realized about this community that I love and embrace about this community is it's a very civically engaged community and it's something that's valued. And so that was something that we were really excited to be able to offer to our students. And although these are neighborhood schools, these are also schools where their families can apply and go outside of their neighborhood school in order to take advantage of any of these offerings. Our return on investment in student achievement, our core job of all things that we do and all of the services that we provide, obviously, is our academics and increasing student outcomes. And so this is the work that my team and I do that I'm most proud of. And so many industries have been able to move on beyond the pandemic, put it behind them and move forward. It is something that continues to be something that we are having to deal with on a daily basis, the repercussions of the pandemic. And one study done through Harvard and Stanford universities showed that students during the years of the pandemic lost about a half grade in math and about a third of a grade level in reading, which means if our students are to catch up, that they're going to, our teachers and our principals and staff, instructional staff, will have to provide instruction and get our kids well beyond one school year at a time in order for them to catch up for the learning loss that occurred. And what the study found was that students nationally gained about 1 year and a little less than 3 weeks, which tells me that, we have some hardworking teachers nationwide that are doing some amazing things for kids and helping with that overall recovery of pandemic learning loss. But here in Fayette County, we actually not only did those 3 weeks, but we actually did 3 times. So our students in Fayette County, the study found, through a full school year plus 9 weeks, which is 3 times the national average of growth. And we were also able to outpace the nation average as well in math. And so that's something we're proud of, and we celebrate those accomplishments. We're also, many of you, what is the tests that we receive at the end of the year, and the score we received is what most people know how our schools are performing. We call it high stakes accountability. It's called the Kentucky Summative Assessment in schools, but it is the grade that we're given, and it looks at a variety of factors in order to consider how a school system is doing. And so I'll take a few moments to talk a little bit about that. There are several things involved in the accountability system. The most simplified version shows that there's a color system where from very low to very high, and then there's a federal system, which is comprehensive school improvement and targeted school improvement. And these are basically how we're graded each campus is graded and the system is graded as a whole. And so for Fayette County Public Schools, this is a system that went into place in the 2017-2018 school year. And for the first time this past school year, in the history of this accountability system, we have 0 campuses that were identified as needing comprehensive school improvement. This is a feat that is worth celebrating, especially in a district of our size, complexity, and diversity. So as an example, we're the second largest school system in Kentucky. Our largest school system, Jefferson County in Louisville, is about double our size. And Louisville has 19 schools that are identified as comprehensive school improvement. So for Fayette County to have none is quite the feat. Thank you. Additionally, we have a system that's called targeted intervention, support and intervention that's required. What this looks at is all of the different demographics on a campus. It looks at our students who are on free and reduced lunch, who live at our below poverty line. Our every ethnicity, Black, white, Hispanic, Asian, etc. They also look at our special education students as well as our English learner students. And if there's an outlier for any of these groups, it's targeted, as this campus is not performing well for all of the student groups within our range. And so a few years ago, we had many more of these, and we are down to only 12 this year. And any ethnic group, Black, white, Hispanic, economically disadvantaged as well, have been completely removed. The only 2 groups, we do have 12 campuses that are still identified. And they are identified for our English learners as well as our special education students. One thing to know about that, though, is those students take the very same test as every other student. So if you have a learning disability and you're receiving special education services and you're a 9th grader, for example, you're going to take the exact same test as your peers, regardless of your learning disability. The same thing exists for English learners. If you migrated to our country last year and you still haven't had an opportunity to learn the language, you're still taking the exact same test as your English fluent peers. And so although we're continuing to work on that, it's certainly much more harder of a struggle. And so that is something we'll continue to work for, but we're excited about the progress that we're making. And I'm certainly proud of the fact that we have no particular group of students as far as ethnicity to be on that list, which means all of our kids are performing at higher levels. These are another just few points of celebration and things that are happening here. I'm quite excited to see our graduation rate is increasing significantly. Our English learners are increasingly learning English faster, which is another test. And our students, through our climate survey that they take on when taking these tests as well, are showing that they are very pleased with the climate and environment that they're receiving, which you can imagine in an environment now of school shootings and bullying and all of that. That is something that is truly, we monitor and make sure that we're providing a safe and welcoming environment for all. Also, for our ACT tests, these are our tests that really determine whether or not our students are particularly prepared to go to college. Many of you are familiar with ACT. We are one of the states, few states in the nation that provides a test to all of our all 11th graders that take this. And so throughout Kentucky, FCPS has outpaced the state's average on general with our students who take that test. In fact, if you'll notice here, although we serve only 6.5% of Kentucky's public school students, we account for 32% of the highest achievers according to our ACT data. And these are some of the states also that these are the other states when I talked about that 100% of their 11th graders take ACT. Not only do Fayette County Public Schools beat Kentucky's average, we also beat every other state that does the same thing that we does, with the exception of Wyoming, which is 0.1% higher than we are. And I don't know if anyone's from Wyoming or not, but the only thing to do in Wyoming is study for ACT. So, we stake that as a win as well. This is also just a few accomplishments of our last graduating class and some of the many accomplishments that they're making and opportunities that Fayette County is providing to our students, and we're taking full advantage of. We talk a lot about ensuring that our students are college ready and prepared for the next level. And when in 2022, we had about 3,500 students taking 88 college level courses. And these courses could include, we have an International Baccalaureate program, we have a advanced placement program, which are more rigorous courses where they can get college credit for those things. And we also partnered with several universities to do dual credit, where those kids are taking a college course aligned with their high school course, and they're getting college credit and high school credit simultaneously. And so, as you will see, we had about 8,800, or exactly 8,800 in 2022 of those classes completed by 3,500 kids. And that has increased in the last couple of years to nearly 4,200 and almost 12,000 of those courses being passed. Not only does this prepare our students for their next level college and being able to show that they can do rigorous work, it's also a huge savings for our families. In fact, if you will take the course value at the University of Kentucky and the amount of credits that our students receive, that's about $19.2 million savings to our families. And in addition to ensuring that our students are prepared for college, we have many students who want to make sure that our students have options. And so we also provide many industry recognized certification courses and exams for them to take those certifications. And we've gone almost sixfold from only 524 students earning about a little over 500 of those certifications to over 1,700 students earning well over 3,000 certifications. And many of these students take these certifications, go on into the workforce and continue to advance there. And many of them go to college and may use these certifications as a job while in college or an extra dollar money, or may simply use it to advance in their degree overall. It's something similar. Financially, our return on investment is quite, we often hear about our budget. We have, from a general budget stance, about $670 million. And as you will see, the vast majority of that, in fact, 58.5% goes directly to instruction, which is something that, again, is our bread and butter, and that is what we focus on. There's, the many services we provide, obviously, there's lots more that, and 40% that's left over. But what many people don't also recognize also is the mass majority of our budget, 85%, in fact, goes directly into to salaries and benefits for our people. And so, although in all of these services, and that's all indicated in those numbers as well. We provide a transparency dashboard for our finances that's on our website. This is an opportunity to really allow our community, our taxpayers, to go on our website, and it's in lifetime. You can see the finances, where every single dollar goes, how it's being spent, and the many ways that we are being financial stewards. And we also are very proud of the fact that we have it's by by law, we have external auditing firms come in every single year to audit our books, to audit practices. And for the last 5 years, we've received perfect audits with 0 findings of irregularities, which again is something that is very rare for a system of our size and complexity. So. And then it's school safety. Unfortunately, we live in an era where this is something that has to be a priority. It's something that we have to pay close attention to, and it's something that we have to make sure that our families are very interested in knowing that we are focusing on this and with reason. And so we've had a 5 cents in 2018. It was the community was asked to pass a 5 cents tax, which was fortunately passed in order to help with the safety in our schools. And that generated or to date about $107 million dollars. And it will tell you 26 of it million went to facility upgrades, which was like securing our buildings, having secure vestibules in front of every single building to limit access. Also provide a lot of personnel such as mental health professionals, police officers, school nurses, et cetera, and then safety support such as training, social media monitoring, et cetera, is about 29,000. And so you'll see since that new bill was passed, there is the differences in the investments that have gone in. So we had 0 mental health specialists at the time, and now we have several throughout our building. And our student to counselor ratio is 1 to 250, which is a national model. And we also, just for the sake of transparency and also for the sake of ensuring that our families are well informed, we started a safety tracker. Quite often our schools will either go on what we call lockdowns, or they will go on heightened alert. And that often will freak our families out. And because every kid has a cell phone now, starting in elementary school. And so they will reach out and say, we're on heightened alert. And families will immediately start calling and trying to figure out what's going on. So, and quite often we're in the midst of trying to create a communication to go out to families before, and their kids get it out to them well before we're able to, of course. And so, and most of the time, the mass majority of the time, it's something that's happening in the neighborhood. It has nothing to do with the school. It's somewhere where we've gotten a call from the police, saying, we're doing something in the neighborhood, there's a fugitive or whatever the case may be. And just as an extra set of precaution, we do this. And so this is a way that we've been promoting to our families. Go on here first to find out what's going on, because we try to update this in real time to let them know. We will continue to send out notifications, but this puts a lot of our families at ease to understand what's going on within their communities. And as far as our facilities as well, there was another nickel. There was actually 2 nickels that was passed. One in 2007 that generated almost $200 million, but has given the district nearly $700 million in bonding capacity. And from that, 70 school buildings have been built, 23 has been modernized, and 3 support system facilities have been invested in. And for the second nickel, which generated $550 million in capacity, 6 new schools have been built, 20 modernized, and 8 additional schools. Excuse me. And so, again, there's plenty of work that we're continuing to do. We're not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but we are certainly doing all we can to make sure that we are giving a return on the investment that our community has entrusted in us to educate our schools and our communities and our children. And we're always looking for volunteers or partners. And so if you have a company or would like to volunteer or in any manner, there's so many different ways that you can do that. And I brought with me today our external partnership manager, Michael Adams. If you'll wave, Michael, if you want to learn more about how to partner with us, we welcome it very, very much for you to come in. We also brought our chief of staff, Tracy Bruno, who does a lot of great work for us as well. Any questions? Do we have time for questions?
Yeah, about 5 minutes.
Excuse me. Yes, sir. Thank you.
One thing we target as a Fayette County education area, as a one thing we improve. And so, considering that, if you summarize your plan for things.
Oh, absolutely. I will say the first thing we still need to improve is, although we outperform the state at elementary, middle, and high school, we still have a considerable amount of students that are not performing at grade level. And so we continue to invest in better instructional practices and professional learning for our folks in order to make that happen. And we also just recently invested in high quality instructional materials in order to have the resources that are needed in order to make sure that our students are learning from a 21st century advantage so that we can continue to increase that number. Yes, sir.
From our Zoom folks, we've heard about large federal grant support for the Crawford, Breckenridge, and other school programs. If access to those funds is still in place, given the changes in the federal programs.
As of today, yes. And that's all the information I have. And so we're hoping.
First, again, thank you for coming in. All the data visualization was fantastic. I had a question specifically for the Hill in the CTE programs. What are some of the CTE programs you guys are focusing on for that location?
There are plenty. Is that written on our things out there? No. I mean, we have auto mechanics. We have medical culinary arts. It's 27 different programs, so it's quite a variety. Yes, ma'am.
You said it was more, is kids outside of Fayette County able to access it?
We do partner with 3 other districts currently. And we're looking to see, because right now we currently have South and East Side technical centers, which has limited the amount of students that we can. And so we're trying to expand it to more Fayette County public schools. And right now is the time where students. And so right now is the time where kids are creating their schedules and classes for next year. So it really will determine how much space we still have available. But we're certainly looking to partner. It provides quite a bit more space. Is
Justin County.
I believe it's just been one.
Scott, our long-standing partners, are bringing you.
Back over here, yes, sir.
Are there any restrictions on cell phone use for students?
Currently, we have several schools that are piloting it by campus. I fully anticipate the legislature will put something in place statewide, which I'm rather looking forward to. Yes, ma'am.
A lot of in the county. I know you already have the highest salaries, but is that something that you're looking into too?
Yeah, we have a board that's really committed to making sure that we can retain and attract the most seasoned and people that we want to have here. That comes at a cost, of course, but we're looking at a variety of different ways to do that, and that's certainly been something that's been discussed in several instances.
We do give 7 weeks of paid maternity or paternity leave to our employees as well.
Yes, sir.
Just mentioned the legislature. Is there anything brewing in Frankfurt that has you hopeful or concerned?
I will tell you, there's a few things. The biggest, I think, is the misunderstanding of DEI. Because DEI, that deals with our special education students, that deals with that deals with our students that are coming to us from different cultures and countries, that we are doing things to make sure that they both feel like they have a sense of belonging. And so we get really nervous about when they're saying we can't provide those services, because that's what school is about having everyone have a place to belong. And it is the most diverse space probably of any given space within our city. Yes, ma'am.
Last question.
It's concerning. It's, the mass majority of our, I spoke previously about special education students, the mass majority of that comes from the federal government. The mass majority of our funding for our English learners, which is our fastest growing population in Fayette County Public Schools, come from federal funds. Our free and reduced lunch students who are able to eat for free because they live at or below the poverty line is a federal policy. And so it would change the face of education as a whole and drastically as we've all ever known.
Dr. Liggins, thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you, Dr. Liggins. On to Nashville Rotary Club of Lexington and our very own Bill Strauss. Strauss, we'd like to present you with this lithograph, and thank you so much for coming. We'll week of service next week, and then we'll see you back here on the 27th. We are adjourned.
Yes.